there are also not that many groups who are elevating, who are boosting up trans women. Like, especially when cis women come after us, there are not a lot of people who are going to, like, defend us. I do notice that most cis women will hide their transphobia and say, I'm not transphobic, I'm just saying the truth, and cis men will just straight up be mask off. What I get from a lot of, like, transphobic cis women is, like, the othering, right? It's more like the, well, you're not like a real woman. Well, you don't understand like my struggles. You don't have like the female struggles, right? That's like more of the things. That is like what you rather get from like transphobic cis women. I'm just being honest, yeah. Obviously, there are like a lot of transphobic women who are like, you know, brainwashed into believing like the same lies that like guys are being brainwashed into believing. The misogyny, the othering that they give trans women, that is like what I noticed the most. Like from cis women, I often get things where it's like, oh, you don't do X, so you're not a real woman. Or on the other hand, you do XYZ, and this means that you're never going to be a woman. Women don't act like this. Women don't sound like this. Women don't talk like this. Women don't do this, right? And it's like the conservative values, like the cishet normative being like indoctrinated into them and then projecting it onto others and invalidating them because they are also being invalidated, right? It's like misogyny, giving misogyny to other people. You have like the social hierarchy, right? The social hierarchy of that like conservatives want. You have like the man on top and also like masculinity, right? Have masculinity on top, and on the bottom you have women, or basically like femininity, right? Femininity is seen as lesser. You have men punching down on those that they see as like inferior, right? The masculine man having to like prove that they are on top of the food chain by going after like feminine men, for example. Also invalidating like the womanhood of masculine women, by the way. That is like also like a thing, but there's also like the mask privilege in some areas where women who are masked are being seen as like a more on the team of like the masculine men, like one of the guys kind of situation. There are also like these instances, but like, you know, things always kind of like vary. But now you have women going down on trans women, but also trans men as well, right? Or non-binary people. So it's like having like a group to punch down on, and they weaponize the things that like the conservative men, the misogynistic men are weaponizing against women, against, you know, femininity, and they're just like giving it back to trans people, trans women, right? There's a lot of infantilization when it comes to like trans men, obviously. It's like, oh, you're just a confused little girl. You've just been bullied out of your womanhood. And for like trans women, it's also like, you're the evil male who make women suffer and so on. But, you know, if you're a trans woman and, you know, a lot of the punches are like, you sound like this, you act like this, you talk like this, that means you're not a woman. Real women don't talk about, you know, I don't know, female healthcare or whatnot, right? When I was, when I had bottom surgery and I was like making a joke tweet about like the dilator, having like the karambit dilator, and like, you know, people were like goofing on it. But it's like, oh, real women don't speak about these things because like, you know, women are being shamed for female healthcare a lot. So these women who are like the transphobic women who are being indoctrinated and shaped, bullied and abused, they're just giving it to others. They're going to give it to the group that you know, is below them. It's the same with like white women going after women of color. That's also like the thing, right? Not viewing women of color as real women because maybe they don't fit the Western beauty standards of women or whatnot, right? And it's like really difficult to like break free from that, and it kind of hurts. It hurts a lot when it comes from women, obviously, because it's like you should just know better. It's like you're not helping yourself by punching down and going after us when like the problem, the root cause is literally like the patriarchal system. My gyno talked about this recently. My gyno is a cis woman, and she said that she wishes women felt more comfortable talking about their anatomy because it's pretty common for men to talk about theirs. It's such a negative stigma that it is dirty to talk about problems with their anatomy. Yeah, it's like anytime I hear from my cis women friends talking about like how they're being treated, how they're being overlooked, and how they're being like shamed for just like, I don't know, having period cramps that are like so unbearable, and then like later on figuring out that periods shouldn't hurt that way. The same when it comes to like endometriosis or something. Like if there was like investment into like into female healthcare and it wasn't like just being brushed off, there would probably be like a different solution to a lot of problems. Instead of just like removing the uterus. Then it's also like the invalidation. It's like when you have like immense pain and you want to remove your uterus, and then it's like, oh, are you sure about that? Don't you want to start a family? And you know, like these things are like being shamed if you like speak about these things, right? You shouldn't complain. And when I, as a trans woman, talk about female healthcare, you know, when I was talking about like dilators, the TERFs that came after me, it was wild. There were a lot of people who are like, oh, I never knew that, you know, like dilators are a thing, and I never even heard of that, because, you know, obviously a lot of people do not hear about like female healthcare. I also didn't like say that I had bottom surgery in the tweet. It was just like, oh, I have to like stab myself with this karambit dilator or whatnot. That was like kind of the caption of it. I wish I still had it. But I like purged all my tweets a while ago. But a lot of people were using it as like a learning opportunity, and it was like, oh, silly karambit shaped dilator or whatnot. So it was pretty useful. But the most pushback I got was actually like from TERFs. They sent the harassment after me. They were like, oh, this is like a part of the kink. Oh, this is gross, disgusting. And they're like literally talking about female healthcare like that. So it's sad. But the thing is, like, there are also not that many groups who are elevating, who are boosting up trans women, right? Like, especially when cis women come after us, there are not a lot of people who are going to like, you know, defend us. It's like the transphobia and misogyny coming together. I'm at a point where I slowly have like a decent platform where I have people like defend me. But a lot of people who defend me are also like trans. On the other hand, there's also like a lot of like infighting, because you don't have like that many groups where you can like punch down as like a trans woman. So a lot of them are just like starting to fight each other. You know, anytime there's like something a trans woman does that, you know, people dogpile on, they get like really confident and also joining in order to see, in order to seem like they are one of the good ones. I'm starting to think the lack of education about anatomy and mental health is very intentional. Oh yeah, what if your husband wants more kids? Yeah, like you go to the doctor and it's like, does your husband agree with this? Can you get your husband to sign this in the year 2025? And then people have the audacity to say that like men and women are equal. Misogyny is no longer a thing.